I said I'd be doing a video of my favorite Swedish, and this is it. Probably wondering why I'm showing Dark Throne since they're Norwegian. Wanted so bad to add this to this collection, but since they're Norwegian, I didn't. The deal is with this band, hold on a second, favorite part of this song. I like Fenris's vocals there. But they went to Sunlight Studios in Sweden to record this, so it's heavy Swedish sounding death metal. Recorded in 1991. It doesn't need no introduction at all. But if you don't know that Dark Throne was a death metal band before they did the black metal stuff, check this fucking album out. It fucking rips. One of my favorites. But that's what's going to be playing in the background, and I'll carry on with this. I got several albums, and I realize this might take hours if I showed everything that I liked from Sweden, so I just limited to one per band, and that's how I'm going to do it. So I'll start off with a couple vinyls. First one, Just Sanity, Unorthodox. I want to say this was released in 91, maybe 92. Of course, Don Swano, Black Mark. This album fucking rules. My favorite songs on this is Enigma and When All Is Said and Done. Two of my favorites. But I don't know, it has a progressive feel to it. It sounds real progressive. And there's some clean vocals in Enigma that's really cool. The darker sounding stuff is awesome, and basically whenever the witch part of it sings, it's fucking awesome. And then it sounds like they got maybe a minister or a priest or something in some of it. But very interesting album, just killer ass fucking artwork. If you haven't heard this, freaking check it out. I'll put links to everything I show, of course. Next one up, I have another one that's just freaking a banger. Sorcery's Blood Chilling Tales. This album, best way to describe it, has a Finnish sound to it a little bit, but I mean it's Swedish, of course, but the vocals are really freaking killer. The vocals does a lot of different things with his vocals that makes this album really unique. The intro to this is so haunting. It's a perfect thunderstorm coming in freaking record right here. Released in 1991. Just a phenomenal album, and definitely one of my favorites. And by the way, these are not in any particular order, because to be honest with you, some days are better than others with some of these albums. But yeah, Sorcery, Blood Chilling Tales. Show another Swedish gem. I think this one was released in 92, which is Epitaph, Seeming Salvation. Just freaking masterpiece. It's different. It doesn't sound like your typical death metal. It has a different sound. When I first heard it, I didn't really care for it, and then the album was freaking rude on me. And this is Thrash Records release, and it's on this nice blue right here, and slip sheet right here. It's really freaking cool. It's an outstanding album. Of course, another one that just needs more love. Everybody needs to know about this fucking album. So, badass shit. Carrying on, showed a couple CDs, kind of switched back and forth. Got a couple cassettes to show too. Another one, Carbonized for the Security, 1991, which that album cover is unique for death metal, but it fits the music perfectly. This one's just crazy. Some crazy stuff going on, but it's so dark. My favorite songs on this, of course, is the opening track, Recarbonized. I like Reflection of the Dark, Purified from Sulfur, and Monument. And then title track. Every freaking track on this motherfucker is good. So another one that you really need to check out if you don't know it. Carbonized for the security. Of course, this one doesn't need any introduction. Graves to the Grave. And for me with Grave, there's You'll Never See is one of my favorites, but right now, this is the one I've been listening to the most, is To the Grave. Just brutal. This is like caveman freaking Swedish death metal. Love the artwork to this. The ocean with the lighthouse on that cliff there. I just think that's some badass fucking artwork right here. But of course, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail with this because you guys should know this one. The other one released in 1991. Made my record skip. Go to a cassette. This is Syntax, Subconscious Lobotomy, 1992. It's another one, just haunting like this. Best way to describe this album, right here. Sounds like Dark Throne's first album with the keyboards and all that spooky stuff. There's the original artwork, so I'm just happy to have this in my collection. I'd be glad to get this on vinyl or cassette or CD, but it is what it is. I got this, and I play the shit out of it. So Syntax, Subconscious Lobotomy. Go to another cassette. This is Merciless, The Awakening, which they were signed to Death Like Silence. I believe they're the first band signed to Euronymous' label. But the other one, it's more death thrash. A lot of people compare it to Pleasure to Kill by Creator, and I agree with that. Knowing this album absolutely freaking slays. So another one that you really need to look at if you don't know it. Absolute classic. I didn't realize I was wearing a Led Zeppelin t-shirt. And it's wrinkled because I just woke up. But I don't care. Show a vinyl. This one probably doesn't need any introduction either. 1990s Carnage, Dark Recollections, which paved the way for Swedish death metal, because that year, I believe, Entomb's Left Hand Path and this came out, and defines a genre, defines a subgenre of death metal, rather. But look at that artwork. Fucking killer shit. Favorite songs on this is Torn Apart and Death Evocation, Blasphemies from the Flesh. Every freaking track on this is a banger, and that one, if you don't have in your collection, get this son of a bitch because you need it. The other one right here, 1991 again, Mega Slaughter, Calls from Beyond. I always want to say From Beyond because of Massacre, but Calls from Beyond. Just absolutely another one, dirty, rotten, filthy Swedish death metal, and it's an absolute killer album. I mean, this one needs to be everywhere. It needs to be talked about a lot more than it is. Just one of those albums. I love the keyboards they put in it, minute amounts, but just putting that atmosphere they have in it, along with that dirty, dungeonous sound. Favorite tracks on this is Rise the Dead, False Paradise, Calls from Beyond, the title track, and Bloodshed. Great shit, great fucking album. Highly recommend this one. Another one, 1993's Womb Bath, which this one has a mixture of sounds. It has some suffocation kind of sounding stuff in it, Floridian kind of sounding stuff, Swedish, of course, a little bit of Finnish. Just an absolute banger. The album cover always fits this album perfectly. I'm gonna try to get out of there, but it sounds like you're in that cave with those mummies. Just freaking brutal. Or is that a hut? Could be a hut. I don't know. Just absolutely killer fucking Swedish death metal right here. Absolute beast. Made my damn freaking record skip again. Another one that does not need introduction is 91's Dismember Like an Ever Flowing Stream. And this one actually has two, I believe, two Carnage covers, because a lot of the guys from Carnage went to this band, but this has Defecation and Torn Apart on it as bonus tracks. And look at that. Probably the greatest band photo on a death metal album ever. Right there. Of course, this is Back in Black reissue, because this album is very hard to come by. But it sounds great, so killer shit. Love that artwork. And this phrase right here comes from the Bible. Can't remember what verse it was, but that's where they got it. Another one that everybody should know, another 91, Unleashed, Where No Life Dwells, Viking style death metal. They still have that Swedish sound, but they dropped the HM2s, and just a fantastic album. I love how it starts off with that little bit of acoustic, and it goes into a freaking slaughterhouse of badassness. Heavy as fuck, and it took me forever to figure out what this album cover was or is, but it looks basically like a Frozen scene, and there's a wizard right there. I don't know if you can see it. Hard to see, but man, this killer fucking album. Used to listen to this one. That's spooky. But used to listen to this thing over and over again back in the day, and then burned myself out on it. And lately, I believe Life Eternal showed this, and I've been attracted to it again, so I've been jamming this motherfucker over and over again. I gotta put that on my record player, cause that skip. Next one needs no introduction. Probably the very first Swedish death metal album I ever heard was this one right here, Entombed, The Left Hand Path, which I bought purely, and a lot of people did back in the days because of that. It's that keyboard part. I love that part. That's some atmosphere right there. Killer shit, but anyway, yeah, this album, God bless. What can I say about it? When I first bought this album, the title track, Left Hand Path, I played over and over again. Huge fan of the Phantasm franchise, and they put that little ditty in this, but I like the whole album, but I listen to side A more than I do side B. Excuse me. But that artwork, this album sounds like that artwork. You're in this forest right here, and there's the skulls and the freaking faces and the roots and the ghosts and all that fucking shit. It's just a badass album. Anyway, you know this one, I know this one. Badass. Next one up, of course, is my pride and joy right now. Is I found this Black Mark Cemetery, an Evil Shaded Grave, which has a lot. Oh, and this is heavy Swedish death metal. It has some weird kind of chirping on the guitars. When I first heard it, I didn't really care for it at first, but now I think it's sets this album apart from all the other Swedish gems out there. But it's another fantastic album, released in '92. Oh shit, I can't remember what year it was released. I want to say '92. Looking, cause yep, '92. So I showed this on a collection update, and I was so stoked about it. But another fucking killer album with some usage of keyboards just to add that atmosphere, and it sounds like this forest with this bog or whatever that is, with this spirit coming out. But Every track on this summer game is good. My favorite ones are Scars. Can't see every name, but fantastic Swedish death metal right here. Check it out. Another one is Comic-Con, Megatrends of Brutality, which is Petrov. I think Petrov did this album with these guys, and then of course Entomb did Clandestine about the same time. This is 1991 again. This one is, it took me a while to get into it, and it's not because it has a drum machine, but it's just different. You could tell the drums were programmed by the guitarist. But other than that, I mean, this is a really killer fucking album. It's hard to describe it, but it's just your typical Swedish death metal. That devil behind this, whatever that thing is. Look at that. That's awesome shit. Next up, Excruciate. This is the only piece of music I have by Excruciate, other than a dub cassette of Passage of Life. I love Excruciate. I love the split, and this split's with Epitaph. Hey, and I showed Epitaph a little while ago in this video, but just fantastic. Just fantastic. Doomy ass, heavy as fuck, dirty as hell Swedish death metal. So another one you can find on Hell's Headbangers. If you don't know this one, look it up. Really cool shit. Later. Badass stuff. Don't know why I said later. I thought the album was over. But anyway, here's the next one. This is another 91, which is Authorized, Source of Dominion. Another fucking badass motherfucker. Dirty, haunting, and it sounds like this scene right here, cold and bleak. And it's another album that I hardly ever seen get shown. It's getting shown more recently because it's been reissued, but just fantastic fucking death metal, haunting as hell. It sounds a lot like Mega Slaughter and those bands like that. Just really cool shit. Love having this album in my collection. Yes. Another one, of course, I showed not too long ago, but Captor. And I have to read this or I'll say laid to rest, but it's Lay It to Rest. Technical death thrash from Sweden, and the vocalist is monstrous on this album. This is another gem that everybody needs in their collection. Yes. I just showed this, of course, I got a lot of these just recently because I have dub cassette recordings of a lot of these albums, and I finally managed to get copies of physical copies of it. So another one, Captor, Lay It to Rest. Got two more to show. This is another EP, probably the baddest ass EP of all time in the Swedish. I wish I had Crematory's Denial. That'd be up there with this one. This is fantastic. The drums on this freaking slay, but this is Ultimo Across the Horizons. Has a lot of Finnish influence in it, I think, personally, in my opinion. But Johan from God the Cobb is in this. I think this was before God the Cobb, but I believe this was released in '93. I want to say '93, but fantastic EP. If you have not heard this son of a gun, good grief, you're in for a treat. Ultimo, Across the Horizon, and last but not least, Therion of Darkness. I love this album. I love the vocals on it, all the reverb on it. But this is another killer freaking Swedish death metal gem. They get their name from Celtic Frost to Megatherion. I read that somewhere, and fantastic death metal. This is before they did 2 albums before they went goth or gothic or whatever you want to call that stuff. It's okay, but I'm more towards this stuff. But dudes in the forest there, scene is fucking badass. That volcano with the Grim Reaper, I'm assuming that's magma or lava flow, and then they have it just looks desolate. But fantastic stuff. A lot in the vein of Entombed. So I timed this out perfectly. I knew I probably could get it within the first side of this, side A of this album right here, which of course, love it. Anyway, that's my video, and hopefully you guys enjoyed that and I didn't go too fast. And of course, like always, I'll post links, and yeah, let me know your favorites. There's a couple of them I don't have. I need Seance for Never Laid to Rest. Killer freaking album. Sounds a lot like Deicide, and somewhere I have it in this stack of dub cassettes. Of course, I mentioned earlier Crematory's Denial. There's a couple others. Luciferion. Man, I'll think of them later. Excruciate, Passage of Life. Anyway, those are a couple albums I'm still looking for, but this will keep me busy listening to for a while, I mean, for years. And I think it's going to be Swedish death metal night tonight. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. You all take care later.